Okay, so today we are getting back in, doing this remotely, to assignments. We've turned in our vector logos, did a good job with that. Now we're going to go to our color spot illustration. We have just a one-page kind of rundown PDF talking about what it means to be a spot illustration and how we're going to fulfill that. And it gives you some tips of how to get inspiration to start. I'll give you a theme, but again, you can disregard the theme if you like. So you can refer to that. I am going to open up this slide show, which is underneath the assignment sheet. I want you all to be really aware of it because it's a really, really helpful lecture that I put together with a lot of honors students' input over several semesters. So I call it an exhaustive explanation of digital coloring, which is something we're going to learn for spot illustrations. And while that's loading, I'm going to go over to PhotoBucket and show you some past examples of assignment 7 of this colored spot illustration. And it basically has 3 components that you're going to turn in, very similar to the logo. First is a sketch. Second is line art. And then third, I'll look at instructional examples. Oh, let's look at past student examples. And then third is colored line art, right? So now what is a spot illustration? A really good way to think of a spot illustration is as a sticker. And so there's a few ways images are reproduced and used in our culture. One way is stickers, another way is t-shirts, another way is tattoos, right? And they are all examples of spot illustration. And spot illustrations professionally are used in publishing. So at the beginning of each chapter in Harry Potter, there's a little spot illustration on the page where the chapter starts. It's different than a full page illustration. It's a free floating illustration within the page. And so you'll notice on good spot illustrations, they are just like a sticker, they are completely self-contained. They make their own silhouette, their own shape. They are not locked within a rectangle, right? So there we see the sketch, the line art, and then the color. That sketch was done digitally. You're welcome to do that, but it can also be sketched traditionally. And then you see how the color, this is digital coloring as opposed to digital painting. The color goes right behind the line art. So here we have a sketch. Here we have the line art. Here we have the digital color. And you see how everything is self-contained. There's no big rectangle of sky behind it. But this image can then be put, like a logo, onto different backgrounds, onto a t-shirt, onto a poster, and it will float on that background. Same thing here. But notice the sketch, when you sketch, make sure you do little thumbnails. Don't take up the whole page, because these are beautiful, beautiful fireworks. I really like them, but they got cut off, and that doesn't work for a spot illustration, right? They would need to be completely rounded and filled out. So they just kind of abandoned that for the line art, and then the color. On and on and on. You can have a lot of fun with this. We're going to learn a lot of different digital coloring techniques, colors that go behind the line art, whether it's soft-edged, hard-edged, duotone, full spectrum, textured. And then that spot illustration will have the option of putting it up to a profile on Redbubble that we create where we can sell products, right? Or at least buy products for ourselves, like pillows or mugs or t-shirts or shower curtains. Sometimes the sketch and then the finished line art can be quite different, right? And then the coloring is definitely going to be your own as well. And then one option we will learn, this is a great example, for coloring is that you can color behind the black line art, but you can also replace the black lines with color, and that's called a color hold. You can even put color on top of the black line art, and those are kind of special effect color holds. So the first goal, of course, is to pick what our image is going to be and know what we're going to sketch. And so if you like, I'm going to give you two different themes. And if you like, you can do either one or do one for yourself, right? But it's always good, just like with the logo, to have a concept in mind, something you want to communicate. And these themes have varied throughout the semester. Sometimes we've done monsters. You see some of those examples here. Other times we've done like song lyrics. We've done a lot of kind of Earth Day related things. So lots of options. Okay. So what is your theme going to be? Well, it can be leave no trace, fire and water. And so if we remember that, I'm going to bring that open here. Open up my folder. So when I did logo sketches for fire and water and leave no trace and came up with like the burning tire and the dead fish, right? My original sketches tended to be more illustrative, like this one. The burning tire that makes a plume of smoke that looks like a tiger or a lion, right? And so that's a good concept for a spot illustration. It's completely self-contained. It's just like a more detailed logo. Same thing with my toxic water dolphin here. This could be a very good concept for a spot illustration. It's completely self-contained. But spot illustrations should have pretty clear outlines, pretty clear line work, because that matters. So it's not just a loose painting of shapes and colors. It always starts with clear line art first. So that's one theme, leave no trace, fire and water. The other theme that I was kind of inspired to do for something I came up with for my mom's 70th birthday, which was just recently. And that was tattoo design. So this is called flash art. So this is a little card I made for my mom. And all I do to make this card is I draw it in pencil, then I ink it with, a permanent ink pen, and then I use markers to color it, right? And that's basically the same steps we're going to reproduce digitally. And so I thought tattoo design would be a good option for this as well. You can design a tattoo. So this is kind of inspired by a 1940s tattoo, but tattoos, of course, aren't locked into a rectangle or into a defined shape. They're free floating, just like a sticker, just like a spot illustration should be. And then there are a lot of artists that do kind of flash art designs that I like. These are designs by someone named Nathan Yoder, who is a freelance artist up in Oregon for Yonder Studios. And these are some concepts he had for tiger graphics that I looked at when I was making my own kind of fire tiger tire thing. And spot illustrations can take on lots of different styles, right? Like retro styles, like big thick line styles, stippled, really detailed styles. It's completely up to you, as long as there's clear, black line art to color behind. So something like this, here's a sketch, here's the black line art, and then it's colored behind. That's the goal. Right? Then I am doing this new drawing challenge, which is kind of tattoo related as well. And I posted that on the NLC Art Club page. So if I bring that page up, you might be inspired by one of these prompts. And it's a draw along, stay at home during COVID-19 So this is kind of the shared activity that art club is taking place or taking part in, excuse my voice, during this COVID-19 stay-at-home crisis. And so for these different days in April, every couple days, they ask you to draw something in particular. So for today, April 1st, the prompt was a rat with a snake tail. So I went ahead and made this image. But to make an image like this, which is very kind of editorial, really relates to my history in doing editorial cartoons and spot illustrations and t-shirt designs and things like that, graphics for cards, for album covers, all of this relates. The process for that is exactly what we're going to be doing digitally. And so I drew it out by hand, I kind of sketched it out, then I got clean line art. And we're going to be learning how to get clean line art digitally. This was clean line art through inking it, erasing the pencil, and then getting a really high quality scan, and then using digital tools to clean it up. And I'm honestly thinking that I am not going to be as prescriptive with the limitations of programs and things as I have been in the past with our lab. So in past semesters, I said the line art had to be vector line art. But as long as it's high resolution line art, I'm going to give you a few different ways that you can make it, because you don't all necessarily have a scanner. I don't want you to just take a photo of inked work. That's not going to be high quality enough. So we're going to learn how to do high quality line art in Photopea as a raster, high quality line art in the vector program as a vector, high quality line art in Illustrator, and high quality line art in Photoshop, just so we can have control of that no matter what our capabilities are. But then what we're all going to be doing in either Photopea or in Photoshop in some raster program is the next step. And this I did do digitally. And that's to color behind the line art with digital coloring, right? So this is called soft edge duotone coloring. It's made to look a little bit like watercolor. And it's a lot like blended markers. And it's behind that black line art. Now that's a spot illustration. That would work on a t-shirt. That would work on a variety of different backgrounds. And then what we're going to do with assignment 8, and why this is called in your course outline a spot illustration for a poster assignment, is that then I can post it onto a background, right? So a spot illustration, like a logo, should be versatile in that it can work on a lot of different backgrounds. And so that was my finished submission for that draw along. So what I recommend is, for ideas for you, whether you do leave no trace, fire and water, whether you do one of the prompts, or whether you do your own idea for a tattoo design. Maybe this is an opportunity to design a tattoo for yourself, right? And if you want specific prompts, you can do any of them from this draw along for April. So the next one is a frog with wings, which I've already kind of started sketching for. Mushrooms with eyes. I know that would appeal to some of you in the class. A squirrel with a flower tail. Two-headed bird. Beetle and snapdragon pods. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I'll figure it out. Snail with a building shell. Bird with spider legs. Deadly plants. Coffin and tentacles. Monkey bird hybrid. Squirrel snail. No idea what that is. Bird with butterfly wings. Skull crab. That'd be a great tattoo. And then a claw holding a crystal, right? So these might get you started, and then you will have the option, you can post it on your social media with this hashtag, and you'll see how lots of other people are interpreting this challenge, right? Or you can join Art Club, and you can share your efforts here for whatever one you end up doing. All right, so how do we get started? Well, we get started by sketching. And so if we look at past examples, we'll see how those sketches look. Right? They can be in pen, they can be in pencil, they can be digital, but it's going to lead to clean line art. And that's what we'll start next class.